the shadow of the tropical jungle, where tourist maps lose their meaning and paths lead nowhere, there lies a place many would rather not speak about. On the southern edge of Koh Chang, surrounded by heavy, humid air and the scent of salt, there remains a fragment of something that was meant to be paradise. Today it feels more like a forgotten experiment or a warning. Chapter 1. A dream meant to become paradise. It began like every success story, a project designed to attract wealthy travelers, built in a place that seemed almost unreal. A hidden lagoon, cut off from the world by dense vegetation and hills. The vision was ambitious: to create a luxury resort unlike anything Thailand had ever seen. But this was no ordinary hotel. At the heart of the complex stood ships, massive vessels transformed into floating apartments. They were meant to drift on the water, offering guests an experience suspended somewhere between dream and reality. Luxury, isolation, exotic beauty. Everything suggested it would become legendary, but not in the way its creators intended, because the resort never fulfilled its promise. Instead of crowds, there was silence, and then something else followed. Chapter 2. Abandonment. There is no single official story explaining the fall of this place, and perhaps that is what makes it so unsettling. The resort was shut down, abrupt decisions, no clear explanation. An investment worth a fortune was left behind, as if, in a single moment, someone decided it should no longer exist. Today, a massive rusting ship dominates the landscape, once luxurious, later repurposed into a hotel, and ultimately abandoned to decay. It is this structure that draws the most attention and the most fear. Chapter 3. The Ghost Ship. Locals call it the Ghost Ship. They don't like to talk about it. Some avoid the subject entirely. Over time, stories began to circulate. Dark, difficult to verify, whispered rather than spoken aloud. There are accounts of people climbing to the highest decks and never coming back. No one knows how much of it is true, but one thing is certain. The reputation of this place has changed forever. What was meant to be a luxury destination has become something else entirely. Chapter 4. A silence that isn't empty. The resort still exists. You can enter D-Debt for a small fee, as if someone is trying to maintain the illusion that this is just another tourist attraction. But once you cross into the complex, reality begins to shift. Rust-covered structures, empty corridors, windows without glass, wind moving through hollow interiors, producing sounds that resemble breathing. Everything feels as if people left suddenly, abandoning unfinished stories behind them. And yet, the place is not entirely dead. Chapter 5. Beauty and Unease. The paradox of this place is that it is beautiful. Surrounded by clear waters and wild nature, it offers some of the most breathtaking views on the island. The beach is often empty. The silence? Absolute. But it is not a comforting silence. It is a silence that watches. Visitors often describe a strange feeling, as if they are intruders in a place that wasn't forgotten, but deliberately abandoned. Chapter 6. Something went wrong. All signs suggest the project may have been too ambitious, too isolated, too unusual. Building a luxury resort in such a remote location was already risky. Turning ships into hotels? Even more so. But is that enough to explain its sudden abandonment? Some believe it isn't. Because there are places that simply do not want to be inhabited. Chapter 7. The Final Trace. In 2024, the abandoned complex once again drew attention. A fire broke out, consuming parts of the ghost ship and spreading through the structure of the deserted hotel. A fire that appeared suddenly, in a place where no one should have been. Just an accident, or another chapter in a story that isn't over yet. Epilogue. A place that remembers the abandoned resort on Koh Chang is not just a ruin. It is a space suspended between the past and something we cannot fully name. It was meant to be paradise. It became a legend. And even though you can walk through it, see it, touch it, one thing remains unchanged. Some places are not meant to be understood, only remembered.